What's good, everybody? This is Kenny C here for Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. And usually I do interviews, but we're gonna do something a little bit different. Instead, I'm going to get into one of the things that I truly love. And no, it's not Valentine's Day. It's the NBA mid-season podcast. And joining me at this time is a former guest of the show. I interviewed this man in November of 2012, and now here we are, nearly 2+ years later, and we just gonna talk all NBA on this podcast. I'm joined with B Smooth. He is an R&B singer from Quarter to Infinity. He's collaborated with Drew 32, a fellow former Chilling guest. He's with me right now. What's going on, man?
What's up, Kenny?
I'm good, and thank you for joining me for this special podcast. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate the opportunity. Talk basketball, man.
Absolutely, man. So, the NBA All-Star Weekend is approaching, and I'm just going to come up with topics off the top of my head, and we'll just get into it. There's so many storylines to look back and reflect. Some teams are living up to expectations. Some teams, not so much. You know, I want to start off with one team that's not living up to expectations under some circumstances, that being the Chicago Bulls. Now, there was a lot of talk about this team could be a threat to the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. Then Derrick Rose gets hurt again. Luol Deng gets traded. And now all they have is Joakim Noah and a bunch of other guys. Now, Tom Thibodeau,
a bunch of other guys.
yeah, I mean some decent talent guys, but just some other guys. And I'm sure they wish they still had Nate Robinson, because he may not be Derrick Rose, he may not be a superstar, but he got that team in believing, and they went past the Brooklyn Nets last season. And they went into the Miami Heat and to no avail. So, Smooth, what is your take on the Chicago Bulls' regular season thus far? And, I mean, even if they were to make the playoffs, and I truly believe they will, Tom Thibodeau know how to coach them up. Do you really think the Bulls really going to do anything?
No, I don't think so. Derrick Rose, really unfortunately, got injured again. And nobody saw that coming. I mean, when he came back, he looked healthy. He was moving fairly well, I think, when he was back. That brief time period, they were doing well, and he gets hurt again, and they just kind of blow the whole thing. I think it's one thing to lose your best players, but it's different to lose a superstar player, I mean, he started the offense, got it going when they were kind of slacking. He picked them up, and that's a pretty big deal. Then you lose Luol Deng also, who was he was still doing well with Chicago, but I think once they lost that piece again, it just kind of just fell on Noah. So I don't think they're going to make much noise in the playoffs, because I mean the East is it's not better than the West, but you got to come with a full team, because man, Indiana is no joke. I hate to bring them up without you asking me, but Indiana is they're for no games, man. So you're going to have a full team to compete, period. And I don't think they have that right now.
I definitely agree, especially, I mean, who would have thought? I know the Eastern Conference, they are usually a good conference, but not the case this season. It's like Miami, Indiana, and who else is pretty much a battle for winning record at this particular point. It's just
it's funny. Usually the East is the better half, but just the West just have several teams that are just playing extremely good basketball. They're playing together. They have full teams. I mean, they're playing defense, they're playing offense. They have the full package on their side. So the West is definitely holding down the lead overall. But yeah, as far as the East goes, I think Indiana and Miami are gonna be it.
Man, the Eastern Conference is so bad. Can we just skip the first two rounds and let's just have Miami versus Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, and let the Western Conference teams batter it out. I mean, I think I think we all know who's going to end up in the Eastern Conference. That is, no serious injuries towards Miami and Indiana.
Yeah.
But as far for the Bulls, I mean, I Derrick Rose, he's just looking like he's turning into Grant Hill. Just a talented player, and the injury bugs start to catch up with him, and it's very unfortunate. He's a good kid. He's a good young talent. But injuries are just piling on, and Bulls, they're going to have to make some decisions come the off season. I mean, I guess his days.
I mean, they're going to have a serious personnel restructuring, basically, because I mean they lost the meat of the team when they lost those two. So they're going to have to get some serious. I don't know if they have to do some trading or do some recruiting or something, but something has to happen because without them, I don't see them really, make us the playoffs and survive in the playoffs.
I definitely agree on that. Speaking of Indiana, I mean, I guess we all knew that they were going to be a good team. Paul George was going to elevate himself, and he looks like I'm not saying he's a superstar yet, but he's emerging. And if you think about it, Smooth, they've been doing a lot of talking. I mean, this is a team that really wants to face the Heat come playoff time. They really want to get home court advantage. And as I think about it, maybe they could have beaten the Heat last year if for some odd reason they didn't leave Roy Hibbert on the bench and leave LeBron with the easiest game winner of his life. I mean, but Indiana, they look good. Lance Stevenson, I mean, he's not known as the guy who threw the choke sign at LeBron. He's played pretty good, and it's kind of surprising that, dare I say, he didn't earn an All-Star spot. But the Pacers are looking pretty good. The question is, can they really beat the Heat, come playoff time? Will this finally be their year? Will they eventually be the Seattle Seahawks of the NBA? That's what I'm asking.
Wow, that comparison, yeah. You know what? Just to keep honesty honest, Indiana could have won last year. They had a very good chance of winning last year. Just so happened that they didn't. But I don't think anybody's really surprised by how far they've come and how good they are this year. If you look at last year, they were playing at a really high level last year. So when they came back, I don't think anybody expected Paul George to come out of the woodwork and just playing like he's been playing lately. He's just been ridiculous. I mean, I would call him a superstar. I would say that because when I seen Miami play Indiana, he was not afraid of LeBron James. Like, I don't think he has any really fear of anybody in the league. I think he's good out and he leads his team and he plays well. So I think Indiana has a really, really good chance of winning it this year. I do. And I mean, like I said, even defensively wise, they all play together. They have a good synergy together as a team. And on offense, you got to pick your poison. I mean, because they got Big Roy down in the post, and if you decide to collapse the block, you got Paul George waiting to shoot. You got Stevenson waiting to do what he's gonna do. So it's really a pick your poison kind of situation. But I think they have the most complete team in the NBA. I'll say that.
I definitely believe that as well, and I guess it's just a matter of them backing up what they've been saying. I mean, this is a team filled with a lot of courage, a lot of belief that they can surpass the Miami Heat. It's just a matter of what happens come playoff time. They will most likely have the number one seed, which means Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals, or when they second round or whatever, but it's Eastern Conference Finals, will be in their home court. So I guess the ball's in their court. Now we'll see what they
do. You know what? I think when it comes down to the finals, it'll be, like they say, defense wins championships. So I think if they can contain them on the defensive end, they'll be fine. Because everybody knows the Achilles heel of Miami is the post. They don't really have a significant post. You talking about Roy Hibbert, it's a big boy, and he throws his weight around. So they have to deal with that for a whole series. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they can't win it. I'm just saying we have to make sure that everything is in line and that they're playing good basketball. Because for Indiana, they have a pretty good mindset of what they want, and they want that championship. So they got to come with it. If they're the champs, got to come with it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of wait and see. I mean, they have the complete team. Now we'll see where they go from here come the second half of the season. And speaking of LeBron, I mean, usually he really doesn't talk a lot. He just let his game do the talking. But as of late, he has been talking. And I guess first he said he was jealous of Kevin Durant, maybe because he's more of a scoring machine than he is. And now he brings up the whole Mount Rushmore comments. I guess that's going to be on NBA TV or whatever. LeBron, he definitely has a chance to be on the quote-unquote Mount Rushmore. I just will not put him there as of right now. Maybe win 2 or 3 more championships, then yeah. But as of right now, as of this particular moment, he's on. I say he's on the outside looking in. What do you think?
Now, when he says Mount, I didn't catch that comment actually. I'm guessing he's compared himself being on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA of all time. Is that what he's alluding to?
Well, I guess he was saying that he's going to go down as one of the 4 greatest players of all time, and I guess his Mount Rushmore was Michael, Magic, Oscar Robertson, and someone else. I didn't quite hear the other person. I guess what he was pretty much saying, you know, whoever's in your Mount Rushmore, you may need to move that person out the way because he's going to be on that Mount Rushmore. He really wants to go down as one of the 4 greatest players of all time. I guess that's just what it all boils down to.
Interesting. And you know what? He could very well do that, but it's going to take some more rings. I mean, you can't say you were the greatest of all time in any sport. You don't have the championships to back it up. Jordan has his rings. Jordan, I mean, and compare Jordan to LeBron because there's only one Michael Jordan. There's no comparison. But I don't think he can be in that league until he gets the rings to back it up. You know, I think everybody else on that level has earned the rings, and they've went through the process of being on that Mount Rushmore of the greatest players of all time. But the greatest players got the rings. Yeah, I don't think he'll be, you know, from under Jordan's shadow until he gets more rings, or at least the same amount of rings as Jordan has.
You know, nobody's ever going to surpass Michael Jordan. When you go 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals and 6 NBA Finals MVP, I mean, that's all you need to say as it pertains to Michael Jordan. You can put aside his final dreadful year as the Washington Wizards, but 6 for 6, and that's all you need to know. I mean, LeBron, he would definitely go down as an all-time great, but nah, he's not in Jordan's ballpark as far as I'm concerned.
Not at all.
Nah,
not at all. I mean, I think you know, Jordan was he is basketball. That's, you know, just speaking plainly, he is basketball. So I don't think anybody will ever compare to that legacy. But as far as just, you know, numbers wise and you know what's on paper, he has the rings to prove it. So LeBron has to produce that to put himself in that category.
Well, I will say this: he's definitely have come a long way as far as some skill set. I mean, the game winner he had the other day against Golden State. I mean, looks like he just wanted to let people know, hey man, you know, everybody want to talk about Kevin Durant being the MVP. I mean, I don't think LeBron needs any more regular season MVP. He already got 4 of them bad boys. Just focus on the championship rings, moving up the ranks of one of the all-time greats, and you're good. If Kevin Durant wants the regular season MVP, that's fine. But Durant still, you know, since he's your rival, you know, who knows? Y'all two may see each other again, and you know, Durant got to start winning some championships because people are speaking highly of him, and he hasn't gotten to that point yet. So another topic I want to get into. I mean, let's go to the Western Conference. You know, you got the Thunder, you got the Rockets, you got the Warriors. I mean, the Western Conference playoff format is going to look a lot more interesting than the Eastern Conference. But as far as who do you think's gonna come out of the Western Conference? I mean, there's plenty of quality teams to choose from.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to give it to OKC just because I've been saying that this whole complete team thing since we've been talking on the phone, but I think they have the other complete team, and they have Kevin Durant, so it doesn't take much more than that. Kevin's pretty much a scoring machine, basically by himself. I don't think he'll win everything by himself. He's going to need, the team to be with him and surge and everything. But I think he plays with this chip on his shoulder because he's sick of being second best to LeBron all the time. Anytime Kevin Durant's brought up the conversation, it's after LeBron. So I think they're going to play with that chip on their shoulder as a team. But I got to see OKC coming out of that. Portland is who kind of threw me off, and I seen how good Portland was with Lillard. I was like, wow, because I didn't know it was like that. But I think Portland and OKC.
Well, for me, I probably would put OKC in the Western Conference Finals. I guess it's just a matter of what's going to happen to Russell, and can Kevin Durant continue to play at the level that he's at right now once Russell Westbrook comes back. Another team that I'd be keeping a close eye on is, regardless of them losing to the Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors. I'm starting to like this team a bit. You talk about complete team. I think they have a complete team. Maybe they may not have the prestige, if you will, but Stephen Curry, he's definitely stepping up, and Thompson, and you have Iguodala, you have Lee, and you have Bogut. I mean, that's a pretty solid lineup. Definitely would like to see more from them. Now, you brought up Portland, and that came out of nowhere. I mean, that's definitely a surprise team of the Western Conference. I guess I'm just waiting to see how they fare in the second half, because Portland usually kind of get off to a good start, and then injuries come along and they fell off.
Kind of gas out.
Yeah, kind of gas out. But I say right now for me, OKC and Golden State. Definitely the Golden State Warriors, a team to keep an eye on in the second half of the season. Now, Houston with Howard and Harden, especially Harden. I mean, Dwight Howard, dare I say, has been under the limelight, if you will. Maybe that's a good thing. He just quietly having a typical season of his. But with all the attention, that he's been getting from the Dwight Mayor in L.A., when we talk about players who haven't won a championship, Dwight's in that conversation. And if he really wants to silence the critics, he's going to have to start winning a championship at some point. I mean, you can't call yourself the best center of the NBA today, and you really don't have a lot of equals, outside of Roy Hibbert or Serge Ibaka, and you don't, start winning championships. I mean, you with Houston, you don't have Kobe to worry about. You don't have D'Antoni. Okay, you with Houston, solid, good team, good shooters.
Yeah, basically, I think what it is at this point, well, when he's with LA, the argument was, I'm not happy with my coach. I'm not happy playing with Kobe. At this point, all the excuses are out of the way. Now it's time to show and prove what are you going to do. I think he had a lot of excuses to kind of crutch on in LA, but now it's like, okay, well, you have a different situation now. You like your team, you like where you're at. Let's see what you can produce. And I think we're kind of waiting to see what happens with that thus far. But I think it's really on his shoulders. And after the All-Star weekend is when teams really start to kick in. That's when it gets real because of this playoff time now. So it's getting serious. But if you don't develop that kind of winning culture before you get into that speed of the game, and it's a different kind of ball game. It's faster, it's more intense. So if he says, he's going to be, the one of the best in the league, okay, we'll see.
We definitely will see. And like you say, he is out of excuses. I mean, he's in a good team, no drama in the way, now it's time to, start living up to what people have been saying about you over the course of your career. Now, with All-Star Weekend approaching, some NBA superstars competing some events, some don't. Now, Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers, this dude, he's going to try to be Mr. Do-It-All, because not only he's going to be in the Friday night game, he's going to be doing All-Star Saturday night events, and he's going to be playing in the All-Star game itself. So that's 5 events in 3 days span.
Yeah.
Now, if he was playing for some other team, outside of Portland, I would say, I guess why not? But because he's playing for Portland, and they do have a history of their star players being injured, that's kind of a maybe the Trailblazers should be telling him, chill out with the activities, man. Just play the Friday game, play one of these Saturday nights games, play the All-Star game, and be with us
and be done with it. Yeah, but what? It's not like he's like a veteran, older player. He's a young guy. He has the time for some more wear and tear on his body. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he'll be gassed out or tired by the end of the weekend or anything like that. He's a young guy, so I think he'll be okay. But I mean, it is an awful lot to be doing, and that does increase your chance to get injured. But I think he'll be okay. I mean, like the actual All-Star game, it's kind of a let's have fun and
yeah.
And enjoy the festivities. But I mean, of course, the fourth quarter, it does get real. Everybody knows that. Fourth quarter, all the playing's out of the way, and it starts to get serious out there. But I don't think he'll be playing to the point where he gets injured.
Yeah, and I guess as it pertains to the Friday game and the All-Star game, he's probably more likely going to be playing at least, I'm going to say, about 10, 15 minutes or so. He's not going to get his usual minutes if it was in Portland. But I guess, we complain when all-stars or superstars don't want to partake in a lot of things. I'm kind of odd that he wants to be in a slam dunk contest, even though he's not really necessarily known for being a dunker. So he may be the and. Do we really think that LeBron James is ever going to be doing a slam dunk contest? I mean, it's come to the point when
LeBron James will never do another dunk contest. I'm sorry to let the world know he's not going to do it. And maybe it's just for reasons of his own, but I think he kind of gets a kick out of everybody saying, where's LeBron going to be in dunk contest this year? He's not going to do it. He's not.
No.
So I wish everybody would just stop asking. It's not going to happen. He's not going to do it. It's over with. So I don't think that's not going to happen.
Well,
so maybe Lillard just has some stuff, under his feet to say, well, hold on now, I can't dunk. I don't do it a lot, but I can't dunk. So it can be interesting.
Yeah, I guess you will consider Lillard the wild card, considering you really haven't seen a lot of dunk highlights. Maybe he's just saving his best stuff for the contest itself. But as far as LeBron and slam dunk contests, I've come to grips, especially that it's not going to happen. I'm not mad at him, but I think it will be nice to do it one time in his career. I mean, when you think of the old days with Michael, Dominique, and Dr. J, and now the slam dunk contest has come to second, third string players that's never going to.
I mean, I think it's kind of doing a disservice to the fans of the All-Stars, really. So I mean, you expect to see, well, at least when I was coming up, I'm not that old. You really only saw All-Stars in the dunk contest, the superstars in it. The T-Max, the Vince Carter, all those guys. But nowadays, like you said, you see people that you have never heard of in your life in dunk contest.
Yeah, I'm still trying to come to grips.
It's kind of disappointing a little bit.
I'm still trying to come to grips with some dude named Jeremy Evans from the Utah Jazz won, I think it was last year. I mean, I know Nate Robinson, I know Blake Griffin, I know Dwight Howard, but I will say that car dunk was a bit overrated. The Superman dunk.
Car dunk was not that. He jumped over the hood of the car, not the roof of the car, the hood of the car. I've seen that done at home. I'm not impressed by it. I'm sorry.
Nah.
And for you, Blake Griffin, I expected a lot better. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It wasn't that good.
and
It
that
was way overrated.
and that Superman dunk by Dwight Howard. Maybe I when I first saw it the first time, I was amazed. But as of right now, I think that's an overrated dunk. You have to actually hit the rim to be considered a dunk, and I don't know. That was just a case of overreaction.
And he kind of threw it into the net. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was overreaction.
Yeah.
And I mean, with you being 7 foot tall, I hope you can jump that high and throw a ball to the net like that. I really do.
I mean, the dude is like 6'10", 11, and you can't even touch the rim. I mean,
yeah, I wasn't impressed at all.
Yeah. So I mean, we got Paul George, John Wall, we got Damian Lillard, we got Terrence Ross. I believe he won last year, and Ben McLemore out of Sacramento. So I mean, at least you got some All Stars, but I'm definitely gonna be into watching it because John Wall is a former Kentucky star, so I'm going to be.
Okay, well, yeah, you got to go with the home front.
Yeah, so I got to root for John Wall, and he's going to be making his All-Star debut as well as Anthony Davis. Another thing I want to get into is those Lakers and Kobe Bryant.
First of all, can I ask why you said it like that?
Yeah,
those Lakers. You got to go into it.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe Bryant, he kind of played. Now he's not playing. He gets an extension of 2 years. You thinking about trading Pau Gasol to the Phoenix Suns. D'Antoni still has a job. I'm starting to wonder which Mike is going to be fired first, Mike Wilson or Mike D'Antoni. Lakers, Knicks, just big name cities, not much results. And for the Knicks, it's bad enough that you're having a bad season, and Mike Wilson could be on his way out, could be forced out. Now you got the Carmelo situation. He's going to be a free agent. He hasn't really committed long term. He's just going to test free agency. I guess that's all fine and dandy, and I understand, considering the team, the way that they look, that he does not want to commit long term, but of course the Knicks are going to want a decision at some point. As far as I'm concerned, Carmelo got all the ammo right now because of the way the Knicks have been playing. Now he could be playing a little bit better and do more than just scoring, play some defense for once, Melo. But I don't know.
You know what though? I hate to say it, Kenny, but I don't think he really cares about. Not to care about the whole team, but it's like, look, I'm a free agent. I'm gonna get mine, and I'm gonna get these buckets, and I'm gonna make myself look good, so I can have pickings that I want to have. But I don't think he'll be on the team with any big All Stars without taking a huge pay cut. And I mean, I think that's a good idea if you got a team else around you and a good supporting cast. But I don't see him going anywhere major with that free agency. Still, so I don't know. I think it'd be already on Melo's shoulders if he's happy to stay long term or not. But at this point, I don't really see it. I don't think he'll leave unless it's a really good situation that he's going into.
Now, obviously, a lot of teams are going to reach out to him, but this is a guy who's in the same draft class as LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh, and they all got their rings. And Carmelo Anthony has only made it past the first round twice in his career. I mean, when you're in the same class as LeBron, Darko Milicic has a championship before Carmelo, and only God knows where Darko is. I think he's last playing for the Timberwolves. Now, he played for the Pistons.
Is he? Yeah, I remember that. Because anytime we was winning by a whole lot, he would get playing time.
Yeah.
That's the game was over with because Darko would be in the game. Well, the game's over with, so.
Yeah, and
is that Darko? Yep. Okay, game's over. So
now,
pretty much it.
The Pistons could have gotten Carmelo Anthony if they wanted to, but they they stuck with Tayshaun Prince, and overall it worked out. And now, man, did I miss those days when the Pistons were actually good. I mean,
man, look, I am from Michigan. Like, though, I remember those days where I was actually at one of the playoff games in '04, and man, I never seen nothing like that in my entire life. There was so much energy and so much hype in Detroit. It was ridiculous. But I actually see that the Pistons are on a come up. I think this season, what I see them do is we see their potential. You know, when they play together and move the ball, they play well. When they don't, they don't. That's basically what it is. But I think that they'll be okay long term. I think it's a building process.
I'm a Pistons fan myself, and you know, they gave me hope when they start making the moves. You get Brendan Jennings, you bring back Chauncey Billups, you get Mo Cheeks, your head coach. You got Drummond, you have Monroe, you got Josh Smith. I mean, they look like they finally got a good team and yet they like 2-3 games away from the 8th seed, and yet they go on to fire Mo Cheeks, and all of a sudden people want Rasheed Wallace to be the interim head coach. I'm saying to myself, Lord, no.
Hey man, look, leave Skull low, man. All right, look, still can do a thing, but I think that was a rush decision, kind of a decision to let go of Mo Cheeks.
Yes.
I think he's an awesome coach. I don't think he had no time to really set himself up. I mean, the fact is, when it comes down to the fourth quarter, they have to get used to closing the game out, and that's something that we kind of dropped the ball on this season. Just closing the game out. We'd be up to the fourth quarter, up 10 points, and then 8 minutes ago, we kind of just let it go.
I mean, the coach.
So we have to get into a habit of closing games out.
The coach can only do so much, and when you don't even let the dude finish his first full season, I mean, that's not good. Well, I want to end this podcast on a high note. What do you look forward to most as it pertains to second half? Like, what team you think is going to really make a move? Which team you think is going to have a setback? I mean, Eastern teams, Western teams. Like, what do you look for most in the second half of the season?
Well, I really can't call any setbacks as of right now. I think the East. Well, it's like I said, after the All-Star break, it's a different brand of basketball because teams are hungry. They can see what's on the line, so they play different. Everything's going to be fast. It's going to be more intense. It's going to get a lot chippier. I guess the teams right now that are doing well will continue to do so. I don't really see any big surprises. I have to, really watch the games to tell, but I think teams that are doing well right now are going to keep on doing well because that's what they've been doing the whole time anyway. So I'm looking for teams that are great to get even better in the playoffs. So I don't think any real surprise going to come up, really. I don't see any.
I totally agree with you on that. I guess I don't think we should be expecting any big trades come trade deadline. I mean, a lot of teams know their place, and then other teams will be playing for the lottery. Philadelphia 76ers. So on that note, this concludes our NBA podcast. B Smooth and Kenny C here. You can check out B Smooth on Twitter. What's your Twitter name, man?
_B Smooth.
And you can check out his music as well. He's an R&B singer. Check this dude out. And I enjoy doing this podcast with you. That I think we should do more of these, man. Like, maybe we could do one right when the NBA postseason is going to start, and just to go through the matchups and stuff. And maybe we could do maybe we should do more of these often, but I'm guessing one before the NBA playoffs start and one before the NBA finals.
Absolutely, man. Look, hit me up, Kenny, man. Stop playing. Call me, let me know, and I will do it again, man. Just let me know, Kenny.
All right, man. I'll definitely keep you posted on that, and I want to thank everyone for listening to this NBA mid-season podcast. That is Be Smooth. I am Kenny C, and we are done. We'll do this again. Come playoff time, so be on the lookout for the next podcast. So that's Be Smooth. I'm Kenny C. We are done. Thank you everyone for listening.